I guess I'll just ask some general questions of Dr. Duggan. We just did pass some things, as you know, in the budget bill, but overall, you know, over time, we've seen this growing Social Security disability caseload, and you certainly hear a lot of anecdotal evidence of people on disability who you wouldn't think were on disability, or when you don't expect are disabled. Could you list, if you had your dream bill to kind of get things back to where they should be, maybe 3 top recommendations that we could do to get some people back to work, or to get some people off the program that probably shouldn't be on the program?
Sure. I'm delighted to answer a question about my dream reform. So I think it is, just to, thanks very much for the question. I think it's important to recognize SSDI is a complicated program, and it serves many, many very vulnerable individuals with severe disabilities. I do think that intervening sooner with people before they are on the program, so that they don't end up applying for or don't end up enrolled in the program, has a lot of promise for the program. So David Otter and I, in a 2010 proposal, put together some ways to try to stem the flow of people applying for and ultimately receiving the program. My sense is that intervening sooner with people before they apply has even bigger bang for the buck than trying to give incentives for people already on the program to return. So that's step one. Step one is intervening sooner and designing innovative ways to keep people who may consider applying for SSDI engaged in the workforce and keep them working, because the payoff to that is extremely, extremely high. A second one is regarding the continuing disability reviews. It is the case that they have been pretty infrequent in recent years. There has been an uptick, as the Inspector General was mentioning, but they have been at a much lower level in recent years than in previous years. And I think it is important for the program, for the integrity of the program, for us to perform CDRs on people, especially those whom we think where their health is likely to improve. And I'm not a lawyer, so I don't understand the exact details of how CDRs work, but I do think there's a sense that there needs to be evidence of improvement, as opposed to the question of, is the person disabled today or not? There is, I think one thing about the process, about the disability application process, it seems plausible that, with 2.5 million applications per year, sometimes mistakes are made. Clearly, people who are applying think mistakes are made because they appeal the decisions. If a mistake, though, is made and an award is made when a person checks in with a CDR, it's more difficult to reverse that initial decision, given the way the legislation is currently written. So in any case, I just think more improvements in the number and sort of functioning of CDRs would have a big payoff to the program as well. And then I think on the ALJ front, so as I mentioned, almost 40% of SSDI awards were made on appeal, if you look at applications in 2010, for which we have relatively complete data. And one of the things about the hearings before ALJs is that typically a person is there with their representative, but there is not, SSA is not necessarily, SSA is there in the form of the judge, but there's not a person there making the SSA's case for why the decision was made in the first place. So I think sort of putting on a level playing field those hearings would be useful. That's a third. And then, just generally, I think reforms to increase the incentive to work among current SSDI recipients, we can learn a lot from, I think, welfare to what happened with the TANF program in the 1990s about incentivizing people to return to work. And I think there's a way, it's a delicate balance, and it's important to be careful that we don't unwittingly harm people, but I think improving the incentives for people on the program, and hopefully these demonstration projects through this recent budget control, this recent budget that was passed will lead to improved financial incentives for those on the program. Because right now with the cash cliff, you have a number of people who basically may be able to work, but have a strong incentive not to because they risk going over the precipice and permanently losing their benefits. So I think it is that combination of intervening sooner, CDRs, and incentives would be great.
You're a really good witness. You gave me exactly a 5-minute speech.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even
practice that last night.
Okay. Thanks.